Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. I also want to acknowledge the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. I also want to acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson today and gives some more deeper understanding the times of the past, things that are going on right now in the present, and the things soon to come on the earth here in the future. We're going to be getting into the fact that our father Abraham was shown these times during his lifetime. He was shown the end. He was showing how prophecy was going to be fulfilled here at the end. And I want to get into that with some of the other books from the Old Testament pseudepigrapha books and bringing some things together here at these in these last days. Also want to give some more connections between the land here and the scriptures and how that plays into prophecy as well. And I've been, kind of checking out things and reading and studying quite a bit and just getting more confirmation of the things that I've been studying, the things that I've been bringing out recently. And even though, many people don't agree and have been talking about how, this is going off and everything else, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. But I've seen plenty of people who still talked about how the Egypt over there is the Egypt of the Bible, and how they talked about how that entire premise of how they debunked whatever it was that I said was that they walked from Egypt to the Promised Land. And I still said that nowhere in the Bible does it say they walked anywhere. A couple people try to say, well, it says they fled or they migrated. Fleeing or migrating still doesn't say that they walked anywhere. So if your whole basis is that land over there being Egypt because of what, the pyramids, the older pyramids are here on this continent. So if the older pyramids are here on this continent, there's plenty of Egyptian artifacts that have been found here. And the older writings of Hebrew have been found here. There's plenty of information and plenty of things to substantiate that there's plenty of things over here that fit the biblical accounts more than what fit over there. And we're going to be getting into that actually over the course of this video. But many people just want to hear things that make them feel more comfortable with what they already believed, which is fine. If that's where you are, where you just want to be made to feel comfortable in your beliefs that you've always had since coming to the truth, this might not be the station for you or the channel for you. That's what I see with many people that are so-called themselves in the truth. They just want to have their ears tickled. They just want to have things that they've been taught the whole time just reestablished, reaffirmed. But the Most High has told us that He will hide things, and it's up to kings to search them out. Nothing is as it seems. If it talks about, and I'm going to read it because I want to make sure before we get into this, I want to talk real quick about a couple things. If it says this, Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19. If it says this about the Gentiles, O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge, in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. If it's telling you in the scriptures that everything that the Gentiles have told us has been lies, why exactly are you taking their word for it on anything? That's one thing that I don't understand as far as our nation is concerned. If you tell them, something different and the Gentiles have said something totally different, they're going to go with what the Gentiles say. It's funny because things haven't really changed that much. If a Hebrew tries to tell you something, might be something a little bit different, he gets attacked. just like it's always been. Esau tells you one thing, you don't even question it. In fact, you won't even pick up a book to go and even research it. You just want someone to come behind that person and tell you what you've always been told. Oh, it's okay. Go back to sleep. Everything's like this. It's okay. Nothing's changed. Everything is the way we've always told you. At the end, the Most High said that knowledge will be increased. So that knowledge might not be very comfortable to hear, because it might require you to change. It might require you to do some extra studying. It might require you to do some extra reading. Esau is the one who says there are 66 or 80 books. He's the one that hides information. He's the one that has hidden all the markers to say which land is what. Because it's funny how many of the people are like, well, if you're saying this, then show me where Rome is, show me where Greece is, show me where Babylon is, show me where this, show me that. I said, and I tell people this, ask Esau where all that stuff is. Esau is the one that's hidden everything. In fact, instead of asking me, because I didn't hide everything, ask Esau to open up the Vatican archives. There's 53 miles of bookshelves with our information in it. What do you think he's hiding there? Probably the answers to all your questions. But our nation wants to get upset with the person who's bringing you, a different way of thinking. You want to attack the messenger, but not the one who's hiding all the information. So like I said, if you want to believe, many people wanted to believe that over there is Egypt, and that's always been Egypt because of the pyramids. But they just neglect to even realize that the older pyramids are here in the Americas. And the older writings of Hebrew is over here as well. And there's plenty of Egyptian artifacts found in the Grand Canyon that's been hidden that you can't go into. There's been plenty of things that have been hidden. Why are all these things being hidden? Those are things that you should look into yourself and study. I'm not the kind of brother that's going to be like, hey, I said this and this is the only way it is. I encourage you to study. I encourage you to study to show thyself approved, not wait for me to give you all the answers. Many people want all the answers just given to them. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm here for. I'll give you some questions and you can study it out just like I do. Study it out to your own satisfaction, because ultimately it's your salvation. It's your chance to be a king. And that chance would be to study, to research, and to learn and to grow and to be led by the Holy Spirit. Because really the amount of information is hidden. The only way we can get confirmation, direction is through the Holy Spirit. It's very difficult, it was a tumult against us. So that means that every single nation is confederate against us. So they knew that we were going to wake up at this time. So their job now is to make it so much more difficult, almost impossible, to get knowledge and understanding of who we are, where we come from, which lands are ours. And it gets to the point where it seems like a lot of people they don't even want to put forth the effort to even look at it. They just want to attack someone if they bring anything that's different from the way the old doctrine is. But if you think the old doctrine is all that there is, then I can't do anything for you. But the more you start to, just like we come into truth, the more you start to read and study, all of a sudden more things are opened up to you. More information is given to you. But it all depends on how much time and effort you want to put into it. Many people are like, well, if you read too many books, that's where you get all these different doctrines. You get these different ideas from. Well, if you think that everything is in the 66 or 80 books that Esau gave you, so be it. You stick to that doctrine. If you think that Esau is going to give you all the information you need in the 66 to 80 books, then, like I said, we're not rolling the same direction. Because I know that Esau has hidden plenty of information in many other places. But that's me. We're going to get into the apocalypse of Abraham. Okay, because Abraham prophesied of these days. And actually, he's actually going to be referring to the fact that, well, of some of the things that I've been talking about. I just kind of was studying and this kind of popped up to me. We'll take a look at the top. Before the age of justice starts to grow, my judgment will come upon the heathen who have acted wickedly through the people of your seed, who have been set apart for me. So the heathen have been using our own people against us. They did it in the past, and they're still doing it today. We always assume that the 2/3 are only people that aren't in the truth. And that's not true. There are going to be plenty of people who attempt to stifle your growth. The whole point, if you haven't noticed yet, is to keep you from growing, to keep you from finding your way back to the Father. So whatever stage they stop you at, they still accomplish their goal. If you're in the world and you're following, constant Christianity, they stop you from chasing the Father. If you get a little bit of knowledge and understanding, and then you're content there, they stopped you from following the Father as well. So it all depends on, how far the Father is going to want you to get, how close He wants you to get to Him, because ultimately it's the Most High who either, lets you get closer to Him or stifles your growth. But don't just assume that all the 2/3 are only people that are not in the truth or supposedly in the truth, because there's plenty of people who are in the truth as well who will be used to stifle your growth as well. Okay, let me continue. In those days, I will bring upon all earthly creation 10 plagues through evil and disease and the groaning of the bitterness of their souls. Such will I bring upon the generations of those who are on it, out of anger and corruption of their creation, with which they provoke me. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them, which you saw deserted in the picture. Okay, so these men here, if you take a look here, what it says here, the righteous men in their number who are protected by the Most High, these people will be striving, okay, in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them. So these men are going to be looking for that place that was prepared beforehand. They're going to be looking for that inheritance. They're going to be looking for that promised land that the Most High had prepared beforehand. And I just actually read this, and now that I'm reading more things, more stuff is popping out to me. You know how when we first got in the truth and we started reading certain things, and all of a sudden we see all these other, things are popping out of the book now that we didn't see before. Well, that's the same kind of thing here. Because like I talked about in a couple of videos ago. Are we still going to keep praying for the land over there that's Ham's land? Or are we going to start to pray for the land that the Most High gave us? Or we start praying for the inheritance the Most High gave us over here? So it all depends. Like I said, it's a watershed moment. People have to decide what it is that they're going to do. Are they going to pray for someone else's inheritance for themselves? Or are they going to pray for the inheritance the Most High set aside for them? That's where we're at right now. And that's what this is actually saying right here. I'm going to read that one more time. I think that's very, very important. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them, which you saw deserted in the picture. So they're looking for the land. They're trying to make sure that they finish, being able to accomplish the 10 Commandments. They're not coveting someone else's inheritance. They are now looking and praying for their own inheritance. That's a huge part of prophecy. And it's actually one of the last things that when you start looking at all these different, you look at Baruch 2, the last thing is the land. The last thing that's talked about is the land. Him restoring the land. And a lot of that restoring is first in our mind, understanding where our land is, because then it helps to understand what has happened to us as a people. I wanted to read something else here from the scriptures. Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. About healing that land, like I said, this is just like what goes with Baruch. Wake up in the land of your captivity. Start following the ways of your father. Ask for forgiveness for the sins of your father and for yourself. Then you'll be taken back to that land. And everyone gets still stuck on the physical movement of people. Just like someone was asking me, well, where's Babylon at? Where's Babylon? Where's Babylon? I was like, are you serious? Babylon is a worldwide system. Babylon is everywhere. Babylon is actually in that land that you call Israel today as well. That's part of confusion. That's what Babylon is, confusion. You got confusion going on in that land that you keep saying, well, that's not Babylon, that's our land. Well, that land is Babylon also, because it's confusion. It's confusing the world to think that those are the people. It's confusing the world to think that that is the land. Just like Babylon's over here. Everything's confused over here as well. It can't be so simple as to think it's just always about a place. It's about a condition. Okay, and the whole world goes around right now, in confusion, because everything is upside down. Okay, and if you actually take a look at the word heal from 2 Chronicles 7 and 14, if you take a look at that, it means to mend or to cure or to heal or to repair. And our land here needs a lot of repairing, because someone's like, well, this can't be our land because look at how they poison everything. Yeah. Why do you think that they poison everything here? Someone's like, well, they don't chemtrail. It's pretty funny because someone's like, well, they don't do chemtrails over there. Yeah, because that's their land. Why do you think they're trying to destroy the land over here? Because it's our land. We want people like really sit there and really think about it. Why would you poison the water here? Because it's not their land. Why would you be chemtrailing? Because it's not their land. Right? Why do they just use the soil up? They don't let it rest. They treat the land horribly because it's not their land. Why do you think they let Fukushima happen? And now it's radiating the whole Pacific Ocean and all of our coasts over here. Because it's not their land. If they cared about it, they would take care of it. But considering the fact that they realize that it's not their land, they're trying to destroy it. And that's why he says, if you look at 2 Chronicles, you get the word heal, he has to fix it. He has to repair it because they have destroyed it. That's what they're trying. He has to cure it because that's what they've been trying to do the whole time: destroy the land, use it up, take the resources, and destroy it. Now they're hell bent on destroying it because they know now their time is short here on this land, because the Most High is going to heal our land and put things back in order. I mean, someone had made a comment. It was a great comment. It says, if you really want to know where the real true promised land is, look at where most people want to live or try to live. Most people try to move over here to the Americas, right? Someone had to put up a survey, and it was like, if they think the homeland is over there in the Middle East, over there in Israel, where Israel is today, why is it then that out of 6.5 million, around 6.5 million Jewish people, 5.7 million of them don't live in the land of Israel today? They live here in the Americas. Why is that? Because this here is the real land. I mean, really, people, you need to think. Really, if you open your mind and really try to think and pray to the Most High and have Him open up your eyes to see things, to grow. We're all here to grow and learn and get closer to the Father. All right, let me continue. And they will live being affirmed by the sacrifices and the gifts of justice and truth in the age of justice. And they will rejoice forever in me. And they will destroy those who have destroyed them. They will rebuke those who have rebuked them through their mockery, and they will spit in their faces. Those rebuked by me, when they are to see me rejoicing with my people. For those who rejoice and receive and truly return to me. See, Abraham, what you have seen. Hear what you have heard. Now, what you have known. Know what you have known. Go to your inheritance, and behold, I am with you forever. All right. I did a few videos a while back about the 10 plagues, but that kind of goes into it even more. And in chapter 30, you can check that out right there. Okay. Next. Now, this is kind of talking about those whole 2/3 that he was talking about, how the other nations have used the 2/3, all right, to pretty much go against his own people. And we have a lot of 2/3. That's why when people say all Negroes are Hebrews, yeah, they might be Hebrews, but all Negroes aren't working towards the Most High, towards the uplifting of the Most High. 2/3 of our own people are working against us as well as as well as the other nations. Let's take a look here at First Maccabees. This is chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Now, when you take a look at that verse 11, when it talks about wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are around about us. Okay, they're not going to do it where it's like totally out in the open. They're going to do it sneakily, so that you're making a covenant with the heathen and you don't even realize it a lot of the times. You're following the ways of the heathen and you're not even thinking about it. They're not going to necessarily go straight in, hey, let's go out and make a covenant with the heathen. No, they're not going to do that. But they're going to sit there and try to tell you certain things that might sound good, but keep you away from the Father. They might sound good, but keep you from studying. Might sound good, but keep you from getting deeper knowledge and understanding. So like I said, you have to make those choices. That's why I don't tell people, hey, do exactly as I say, because I study a lot of different things. If people aren't willing to study that, then like I said, we're not going to agree. And ultimately, I'm not here to make everyone agree. See, that's the problem with a lot of other groups, is that they want you to agree with everything that they say or the way they see things. Okay, that's not what I do. Hey, I'll put some stuff out there. If it sounds, if it goes with your spirit, cool. If it doesn't, study it. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. I don't just listen to someone, listen to what they say, and then say, hey, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, yeah, that's it. No, I like to study things out myself. So all this kind of depends on what kind of a spirit that you have. If you have one that just wants to be led and you don't want to study for yourself, like I said, you just want to be told everything, okay? But I'm not like that. All right. Now we're going to read a little bit more here. Let's talk about the fourth book of Esdras. All right. And how the Most High is going to protect the people, but they have to be within the borders of his land, the inheritance that he's given his people. Let's read that real quick. He answered me. Actually, it's number 9, chapter 9. He answered me and said, measure carefully in your mind, and when you see that a certain part of the predicted signs are past, then you will know it is the very time when the Most High is about to visit the world, which he has made. So when there shall appear in the world earthquakes, tumult of peoples, intrigues of nations, wavering of leaders, confusion of princes, Then you will know that it was of these that the Most High spoke, from the days that were of old, from the beginning. So we're starting to see that right now. Starting to see all these things happening right now, letting you know that we are coming at the end, coming to the end. And a big part of it is the waking up of the people, waking up the true Hebrews, them waking up in the land of their captivities, them going back and remembering themselves in the land of their captivities, going back to the ways of their fathers, praying for forgiveness for the sins of their fathers and for them, and remembering the land, remembering what happened to them in their land, remembering the other nations exploiting them for their labors and exploiting their lands for their resources. That's all part of it. Okay? So, for just as with everything that has occurred in the world, the beginning is evident and the end is manifest. So also are the times of the Most High. The beginnings are manifest in wonders and mighty works, and the end is requital and signs. And it shall be that everyone who shall be saved and will be able to escape on account of his works or on account of the faith by which he has believed will survive the dangers that have been predicted, and will see my salvation in my land and within my borders, which I have sanctified for myself from the beginning. All right, very important that we understand that these lands have been sanctified from the beginning. And when people sit and talking about how they're poisoning everything here, yes, there's a reason why they're poisoning it, because it's not their land. It's our land, so that's why they're poisoning it. But the Most High is going to take care of his people in his land, in their lands. That's why it's so very important to understand that. Okay? And he sanctified these areas from the beginning. Then those who have now abused my ways shall be amazed, and those who have rejected them with contempt shall dwell in torments. For as many as did not acknowledge me in their lifetime, although they received my benefits, and as many as scorned my law, while they still had freedom and did not understand, but despised it, while an opportunity of repentance was still open to them. These must in torment acknowledge it after death. And this is actually, I don't know if I told you guys, this is actually from the fourth book of Esdras. From the fourth book of Esdras, okay? So I'm talking about, again, how important it is to know about the land, all right? Now, this is an example of how he is going to, how he's going to protect his own people and the nature in the lands, just like he did during the time of the Egyptian captivity. Just imagine that the place up top is Goshen, and the place there that's being destroyed is Egypt. Everyone makes it sound like, oh, we can't be here because this place is going to be utterly destroyed. Well, he can destroy pretty much everything that they built and leave everything else intact. And that's why, I kind of find it kind of funny when people are like, well, this place is horrible. It's going to be destroyed. Yeah, everything that they built, you're right, is going to be destroyed. But we're talking about the Most High here. He can destroy one thing and leave other things untouched. It's going to be something that the entire world is going to see. So it doesn't necessarily mean he has to destroy everything. He's going to, just like at the times of Egypt, he destroyed the Egyptians' holdings and spared his chosen people's holdings. Very simple. And that's what he's going to do again. And there's an example. It's been happening now the last few years up north, where you'll have houses just being obliterated, incinerated, and then trees and grass totally fine. But see, everyone wants to make it sound like, oh, it's lasers, it's this, it's that. It's the Most High. Man wants to believe that they have some kind of control. The Most High is the only one that's in control of everything. The Father is the one that's in control. That's why things like this are happening. So it gives you a kind of a little, example of how he's going to protect, the things that he has ordained, and the things that he has not ordained are going to be utterly destroyed. This is a great example. This is right here. So like I said, it's going to be going down here. He's going to protect his people, and he's going to heal the land. And he's going to destroy anything that he does not ordain, that he did not, agree with. Very simple. Okay. Next, we're going to take a look here at this is the apocalypse of, apocalypse of Elijah right here. Kind of talking about what's going to be happening with some of the people that are here. This is also Egypt, where we went into slavery, where we went into captivity. Egypt again. Okay. With ships. Okay. Now, with ships, of course, means we can be moved around from place to place within our own lands. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to come from Africa. We got moved around here.